So Marjorie Taylor Greene, probably one of the most regressive but backwards voices in the halls of politics. She is the chick, by the way, who is behind saying that like the Jews have lasers in space that they use to start forest fires that she had to apologize for and do a bunch of Holocaust sensitivity training kind of hoop. She denied the election results, of course, pretty standard for their type. She cheated on her husband. I think she's actually getting a divorce from her husband. For a woman who's constantly belittling trans women, you know, she looks more masculine than most of them. She's using her power as a national figure and an elected official to make this an issue. This is what she's doing. Instead of focusing on any real problems that might exist in this country, this is where her head is at, okay? At Walmart, many of your customers in my district are reaching out to me about sex toys being sold in your Dalton store. They're extremely upset and absolutely horrified that sex toys are being sold openly right next to children's toothbrushes. This is grooming. I mean, this is hyperbole is what this is. These are the sex toys being sold, okay? So if you are a kid young enough to be brushing your teeth with a Dora the Explorer toothbrush, what are the odds you're going to have any fudging idea whatsoever what any of this is? You're not going to know what any of this crap is. It's not like they got a bunch of bad dragon beetos there and there's like a big horse bee flopping into the aisle or something, right? Like, this is just like some very discreetly packaged little boxes that show a silhouette of something that is like not phallic at all in nature, really. Like, there's no penis that's shaped like any of these things. You know, if you have one of these little deedly wops hanging off your junk, you got some problems, you know what I mean? By the way, do children typically go and buy their own toothbrushes from the store, y'all? Can you let me know? Have you ever seen a toddler waddling through the Walmart looking for the toothbrushes? Has that ever happened? I don't think that happens, you guys. And I mean, like, even if there was some kind of actual problem going on here, to treat this as though it's tantamount to grooming is fudge. Absolutely just like hyperbolic beyond the stars, okay? I mean, like, we're supposed to be scandalized with this. Like, okay, here's one that kind of, if you know exactly what a D and balls looks like, kind of looks like a D and balls. Or the silhouette of one. Also looks like it could be a million and one other things, including like a pickle, right? Sex lube, little sucker. They got all their little sex toys. This is like middle America, Walmart, boring, bland, vanilla-er than vanilla sex toys on display. But because they happen to be next to these children's toothbrushes, like, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think, like, the evil degeneracy of the fudging, you know, sex toy for fudging bored soccer moms is going to, like, taint these toothbrushes or something? Like, give me a fudging break. It doesn't stop there. She's not content to simply write that one dumb tweet. She, of course, has to, like, continue. By the way, Walmart did cave, and no, this was a mistake. We're so sorry. Wah, wah. Walmart, you're a bunch of pussies, okay? Selling sex toys openly where children are exposed to them is wrong, inappropriate, immoral, indecent, perverted, shameful, and incredibly harmful to children. Why is Walmart participating in the grooming and sexualization of children? Is this in all stores or just Dalton? So first of all, you couldn't even be bothered to research if this was like typical shelf placement. Second of all, selling explicit sex toys in view of children, I could see like, okay, yeah, I mean, that's like clearly a dick. That's clearly like a butthole or whatever. Like, but like this discreetly packaged bullshit with like a faint silhouette of something that doesn't even look like a dick is somehow like this gigantic an issue that's gonna, like, the kid's gonna see that and they're gonna turn into a sex maniac and go on a beep spree when they can come of age or something. Like, no, that's imbecilic thinking and you don't even believe it. And also the idea that it's harmful to them. Like, What child is going to be harmed by this? Like, explain to me the mechanics of when I was 7 years old, my mom took me down my toothbrush aisle and she said, pick your toothbrush, Billy. And then next to the toothbrushes, I saw these weird things and they made me cry, but they also made me feel funny feelings in my pants. And now I want nothing more than to rape and murder. It's like, what? I don't think that's accurate, man. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think that's how human psychology is, bruh. I don't care how big your corporation, how much money you have, how powerful your lobby is, how big and powerful. By the way, very clumsy use of two powerfuls in a row there. That's just bad writing. How big and powerful your political influence is. I just don't care who you are. I will always firmly stand up for what is right and do everything I can to protect kids. I want you guys to file this away in your memory bank, okay? I want you guys to file this sentence away in your memory bank because it's about to get a shoe drop in a second, all right? Marjorie Taylor Greene, quote, I will always firmly stand up for what is right and do everything I can to protect kids. That is her words, all right? Remember that for later. It's going to come back. I cannot comprehend how we got to a place where people think they have the right to force sexual adult issues on children. This is not that place. Some discreet sex toys being accidentally displayed next to the kids' toothbrushes is not an example of forcing sexual adult issues on children. You idiot. You do not have that right, because no matter how hard you try to twist your perverse ideas into reasons any of this nastiness is okay, you are wrong. The district I represent, GA14, is firmly opposed to any and all grooming and sexualization of children. It is a largely Christian and conservative. Wait, these two sentences seem to contradict each other. We believe in protecting our kids from perversions and raising them with good moral family values to the best of our abilities. On behalf of my district, I am demanding Walmart resolve this issue immediately. I sincerely hope this is not common product placement in your stores, and the employees responsible will be reprimanded. I do not believe this repulsive grooming represents Walmart. Okay. You guys ready for that shoe drop? 28 Republicans vote against bill to protect child sex abuse survivors. Well, surely Marjorie Taylor Greene is... Oh, wait, no, she is. Among the Republicans who opposed the bill were Reps Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert. Both embrace far-right views and have previously made anti-LGBTQ comments, equating queer adults to predators. What does this bill do? The bipartisan bill was introduced in the House of Representatives in the wake of the investigation of Larry Nassar, the longtime doctor of the U.S. women's national gymnastics team. Multiple reports of Nassar's sexual abuse of children and young women on the team were ignored for years. Through this legislation, the FBI would be required to use multidisciplinary teams of trained professionals in investigations of sexual abuse to address the problems of poorly conducted interviews and the re-traumatizing of survivors. So basically, a lot of these dumb FBI agents were going into these interviews of children who were raped and teenagers who were raped and so on and so forth, and asking questions in such a tactless manner that it's basically re-traumatizing the kids who have already been through rape and molestation and fondling and all that bullshit, right? So this law is basically like, hey, we're going to make it so they don't do that anymore. We're going to make it so that they conduct their interviews in a way that doesn't re-traumatize victims, or that makes it at least as easy as possible for these victims to get through testimony, to get through interviews without compounding their psychological scarring. And of course, who's there to vote against it but Mrs. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who of course will always stand firmly to do what is right and do everything she can to protect kids, unless of course those kids happen to have been rape victims who are, being interrogated by FBI agents without, tact or training. She's against those kids being protected. But most other kids, like if your kid was walking through the aisle at Walmart and happened to see a fudge vibrator on the store shelf, she's all about protecting those kids. The kids who have actually been raped and molested and abused, not so much about protecting them so much. But, It's pretty scary when a kid sees a vibrator next to their toothbrush. You know what I mean? That's a really traumatizing event, you know, especially when they're too young to even know what the fudge they're looking at. And it doesn't even look phallic in nature. You know, what a fudge. Preposterous, God, the imposter. What a lunatic. What a loser. Who the fudge votes against this? What's even the rationale? What could possibly be her reason for even voting against this? I was going to look it up, but then I thought, who the fudge cares? Fudge. This psycho witch. You know, you're really going to pretend you're this great friend of children. You're protecting them because you're protecting them from fudge. This box, from seeing this box, right? Basically what Marjorie Taylor Greene is telling you is a kid seeing this box is a lifelong traumatic event, and that needs to be stopped at all costs. But a kid being fudge and molested and then re-traumatized by a poorly conducted interview is nothing to be concerned with. And she's not willing to lift a finger to help them. In fact, she's willing to vote against that. She's willing to vote against those kids interviews being conducted in a less traumatic manner. So basically, she's an evil witch, you know, which I guess we all probably already knew, but you know, there it is again. In case you forgot, there it is again, man.